Hosting open houses could be a great way to sell a property. More importantly, it can be a great way to develop more leads in the community. See, most people don't even like doing open houses, and that blows my mind. What they do is they put this property on the market and they highly depend that placing it on the MLS will sell the property. The truth is that it takes a lot more than that to sell a property in different markets. As the market shifts and begins to slow down and properties stay on the market a little bit longer, you're going to actually have to get your property in front of people's faces, other than allowing it to put it on the MLS, put a sign out front of the house, and pray that somebody actually gives you a call. Pray that the right buyer drives by and calls on your sign. Pray that the agent on the other side of the MLS is pulling up your property. You're going to need to learn how to put more effort into selling a property. When you host an open house, there are some things that you can do that will help you have a more successful open house. Let's talk about those. First thing is, at least 2 days before the open house, you should canvass the neighborhood. By canvassing the area and letting people know that there's an open house happening, you're allowing the nosy neighbor to take full advantage of coming over to that house. But you also have the opportunity to help potential buyers in the neighborhood that are looking to step up and upgrade, or maybe downsize, or maybe they're renting in the neighborhood and they would love to know what a house in the neighborhood looks like for sale. The next thing you want to do is, on the day of the open house, you want to get signs out. Call them bandit signs, call them whatever you want, but these open house signs need to be placed everywhere. Now, I love doing open houses with 20, 30 signs out, pissing off the neighborhood, letting everybody know where this open house is, not letting anybody make a wrong turn. We want everyone to know where the open house is. So we get about 20, 30 signs out and we let folks know where this open house is going to be. The next thing you can do is place flags in front of the house. They sell these on Amazon, or you could get them customized at your local print shop. But you can get real estate flags as tall as 10 feet planted into the ground, letting the entire world know where this open house is. We have even gone as far as getting a band to play outside. We've gotten lights. And when I say lights, I'm talking about those big beam lights that go like this and let the neighborhood know that there's a party happening. I'm sorry, an open house happening, right? That's the effect that you want to give people. I really want to go check out this open house. Now, we have also toned it down, depending on the property and the area, into getting a private violinist. My favorite violinist was a violinist that played hip-hop music. It was really cool because people would hear the violin and the softness of the violin, but recognize the songs that they were playing on the violin. And it became second nature to them, and they loved it, they enjoyed it, they had a great time. Next thing, we used to joke, and we used to say, let's go check out some broker opens this week. And we would pull the list of brokers opens. And you know who we would go see? Who we would go see? The folks with food. If it said that they were catering, we would show up. So cater your open house with food. Listen, guys, it takes effort. You're going, Dave, that's a lot of stuff. I just want to open a door. And that's why some of you have nobody coming to your open house, because you have not set the standard of how great your open houses are. Place food on the table for everybody. Get some good drinks. No alcohol. Now, when I say no alcohol, I'm going to leave that at your discretion, because we have had some very high-end listings that we've put on the market, and we have served champagne. But it is not whiskey and scotch and vodka and tequila. It was a light champagne, and there were small sandwiches and hors d'oeuvres being passed around. Different setting, different calling. You guys have to make the call on that, right? In some houses, something that works very well is cookies. Simply putting out some cookies, drinks, water, and soda is a great opportunity. Going to Subway and getting the platter of Subway sandwiches, or going to your local supermarket and having them create a 20 platter sandwich bag where they make them in sandwich pieces this big. And then having a reusable platter you use all the time, plastic, whatever you want to make it. They make them really nice now. You can pick them up at Costco. You can pick them up anywhere. And you put the food out on this platter and you give it to folks. Now, here's the trick with cookies. We used to go to the supermarket here in South Florida. It's Publix. And we would go to Publix and we would buy some Publix cookies. Now, Publix does have a bakery, so they do bake their own cookies. However, I didn't bake the cookies. But what I would do is go buy a roll of cookie dough and a baking sheet. And I would go to the property for the open house, and we would put the cookie dough in the baking sheet, and we would slide it in the oven, and we would put the oven on super low, 200, 250 degrees. And we would cook that cookie dough the entire time we were at this open house. And the entire house smelled like freshly baked cookies. And for some reason, when you grabbed one of those store-bought cookies from the platter, they just tasted that much better, and you didn't understand why. And it was the sensory of the home. This also gives people the idea of what their home will feel like when they're baking in the house. You give people sentiment. You give people a feeling. And that's what all of this is about. It's about letting people know if you live here, you could have great events like this. You could have parties with friends. There could be a violinist in the corner while you have family and friends over. There could be cookies. We could bake. This is what the house smells like. Listen to that. Smell that, right? This is what we're offering folks. And then during the open house, you should be collecting names. You get name, email, phone number, and the infamous, do you have a realtor? Right? If so, who? I want their name and phone number. This comes twofold. I am built in this business to create relationships with realtors. I am also in this business to find new buyers and sellers. That, my friends, is how you make your money. That, my friends, is how you develop a database big enough to always have a pipeline of business coming your way. So I hope these tips help you out. But I hope this tip right here helps you out even more. If you did none of this, this is a must. You cannot host an open house and allow people in and out of that open house without collecting their information, putting them in a database, and consistently being in contact with them. And asking them questions when they're there. Do you live in the neighborhood? Are you in the market for a home? Do you own your home now? Are you renting? Do you have a realtor? When are you intending to buy? How soon is that? What's important to you about the purchase? Those are the questions that you could be asking that their own realtor probably isn't asking them, and they'll feel compelled to want to divulge information to you and more than likely work with you now.